Rockalina is getting a friend. This turtle has spent 50 years in solitary confinement, and for the first time ever, she's gonna get a friend. But we have to raise one from a baby in order to do that, so that she can finally have a companion and live a normal life. Her entire story is at a link in the description of this video if you want to get caught up on that. So what happened here is this animal has never been around her own kind whatsoever. Even though this turtle has had extensive veterinary attention since day one, we have no idea what her immune system is truly like and what it can handle. So that's where this baby box turtle comes into play. We hatched this turtle here from healthy adults, and we know the turtle is healthy and it has not been around anybody else yet. So it's an ample opportunity for us to get Rockalina into a more natural situation. Now, the reason that's a more natural situation is because you will hear people say that turtles and tortoises are solitary by nature, when in fact they occur in colonies. This doesn't necessarily mean they love each other, but box turtles in particular are capable of using their own vision to just simply recognize members of their own population or colony, which also means they can recognize a newcomer, and they might see that animal as an intruder, or maybe they will welcome it. In recent studies done by the Lincoln University, we now know that turtles and tortoises absolutely do experience emotions. They can be happy, they can be angry, they can be sad. So one of the things we need to be careful with here is by introducing a little hatchling to Rockalina, we need to know that she's not going to injure it. Turtles, box turtles, have been known to be cannibalistic. Now, while that may only happen because there's not enough natural food sources available, it still can happen, and it's something we have to watch closely. So right here, right now, for the first time, you guys are going to get to see her meet this hatchling, and it's all up to her what she's gonna do. Let's introduce Rockalina to her future friend, a little tiny baby box turtle. This is Rockalina's brand new friend, or hopeful friend. It's a box turtle that we hatched here. It was hatched in early October. It's eating on its own, and it's strong. One thing you may not realize is that these two are basically on the same level of socialization. Even though this is a baby, it has never been around any others, and Rockalina was in isolation for 50 years. Now, we guesstimate that her age overall is probably around 70, because she was collected in 1977 by a little boy, and at that point she was already an adult. It usually takes box turtles about 20 years to reach adult size in the wild, so it's possible she was 70, and for 50 years she never saw another turtle. So that's why this is really the best case scenario for these animals together. So all I'm gonna do is place them down on this mat and see what happens. If Rockalina shows any little bit of aggression, I'm here to interject. But if you recall, if you go back several years, we did this with Otis, our other very well-known eastern box turtle, and Otis, a turtle that is very known for his aggression, was not mean to a little baby box turtle whatsoever. It was absolutely beautiful. So here we go, guys. Baby and Rockalina are meeting for the first time. Okay, she's noticing it. Yeah, she's looking down. She's not sure. She's definitely onto it. Oh, she's looking right at it. She's looking right at it. She definitely has no clue what it is. What do you think? Oh my God. She's literally nose to nose. She's definitely sniffing it. That's normal. Turtles obviously sniff each other and they look at each other. Now, these are all introductions that are going to keep happening. We're not going to just simply throw the baby into the enclosure with Rockalina, indoors or out, once the warm weather returns. This is all about observation, close observation, to make sure that baby and adult are safe at all times. So we really can't take our eyes off them right now. We need to be able to trust both of them, mostly Rockalina. But wow, so far so good here. I'm not seeing any signs of aggression, which is super awesome right off the bat. And she's just so curious about it. She's just very carefully watching what it's doing, letting it walk around her, completely aware of its presence, but not in an aggressive way. She's like sniffing its little butt. She's got no aggression. This is great. You know, the reason this is great is because, again, she has no idea what she's witnessing. And aside from maybe a scent that the baby may be giving off, which is why she's probably sniffing it, she, you know, you would think maybe she would see this. Was this a big bug that I can bite? But she's just not seeing it like this at all. This is really excellent. And she's letting the baby just do what it's got to do. That's cool. They're just like walking side by side. She's not stepping on it, and she almost seems to stop or pause when the baby gets ahead of her. Now I'm gonna hold it up and see here what she thinks if it's right in front of her face. Oh, the baby's actually checking her out too. Oh, it's so adorable. All right, so far so good. If Rockalina saw this animal as something that she should be trying to attack or eat, she would have done it already. Same thing back with Otis. He almost seemed to stop in his tracks like, whoa, what are you? Little mini version of you. That's what it is. So the next test is gonna be, let's get a strawberry, a food item that is completely relished by all box turtles. We'll get the baby started here first and see if it's interested, because I would love to see how they share food, because a concern would be the baby having to compete for food. And again, that's why we can't just throw them together and assume they're going to be all right. And the baby is already on to the strawberry. This is great. Hungry little guy, aren't you? All right. It's biting into the strawberry. Remember, nobody cuts up food items for box turtles in the wild. They have to work for their food. It's one of the reasons why Rockalina's beak got so overgrown and deformed, is because she wasn't able to work for her food at all. This baby's getting a good start having to do that. It'll keep a nice shape, sharp point to its beak, and that'll help it eat correctly throughout life. Now, let's see what little Miss Rockalina thinks. She sees the baby eating it. I know she loves her strawberries. Here she comes. You gonna share? You gonna be nice? Okay, she wants it. She doesn't seem to be bothered that the baby's eating it. When turtles have to compete for food, even tortoises that are pretty much strictly herbivores most of the time, they will not hesitate to push another turtle out of the way, flip it on its back, bite it, and Rockalina just doesn't seem to care. She's just sharing with this baby so far. Rockalina has to continue working for her food too, because we're trying to correct that beak. We can't just always cut up things for her, but she's got such a wonderful feeding response, and the baby's watching her. It's almost like the baby, you know, like a monkey see, monkey do type situation, where the baby's learning a little bit. Of course, turtles are wild, primitive creatures that are born with instinct. They know what to do, but this is really amazing to see how this fresh hatchling is almost observing what it should be doing from its adult counterpart. Strawberries are always a hit. And in the wild, they eat wild strawberries. That's why we planted them in Rockalina's outdoor enclosure. So awesome, guys. So, you know, the things that we're trying to capitalize on here with trying to get her to live a more natural life by being with her own kind, take brumation. Again, that's the reptile version of hibernation. And throughout their native range, eastern box turtles hibernate or brumate underground. They tend to actually congregate. Now, it's unknown if the turtles are watching each other and saying, ooh, that must be a good spot, I'm gonna go over there, or if there are other parameters that they pick up on to select a brumation area. But when you go out right here, even in our pen where our confiscated and surrendered rescued box turtles are, you can pick a spot where you saw one go down and you're guaranteed to find at least a couple more. They all seem to congregate. So that does add to that group or colony dynamic theory. These turtles all live in a given area because the area offers the species what it needs. And they absolutely are intelligent enough to see and learn from each other. So this is what we want to see for Rockalina down the line. Again, this turtle has had an absolutely horrible life for 50 years. And coming up now, February is going to be her 1-year anniversary here. We're little by little getting to see her become more of a turtle over time. If you watch her videos, you've probably heard me say that a million times by now that we want to see her be a turtle. Rockalina's getting to be a turtle because that is what is important. She will never not be a turtle. Okay, I think the baby's done and it's probably had enough for today. So we're gonna give it a break, and that's a prime example of these slow, small introductory sessions that we're gonna do between the two of them.
Real quick though, elephant in the room. Can we talk about how gorgeous she looks?
Yeah, I wish you actually said that. But
I did yeah, actually say it.
Can you say it like elephant? Oh, you're recording it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room really quick. If you guys have been following this amazing turtle story, then you've seen everything that she's gone through, from looking like a complete mummy on that kitchen floor to now looking like this. Trimmed nails, trimmed beak, and look at her color. Today, when we initially pulled her out for this video, we couldn't believe it. Her color is getting so rich and darkening, and these white areas are starting to yellow and even caramel up a bit, which would be more reflective of a wild eastern box turtle's appearance. And it's just another reminder of this remarkable recovery story. And even look at her back legs. Look at all the scalation coming back. This was just complete washed out gray skin that it just looked like rubber or plastic. There was really no other way to describe it other than that. And look at her strength. She's just balancing in my hand. I've got a good handle on her. Don't worry about her. But this turtle has made complete leaps and bounds. Really, the only thing that we still have to keep tabs on are her nails, because it's really difficult to get them redirected to grow the right way. Unfortunately, slipping and sliding on that linoleum for so many years, her nails have just started growing upward. It doesn't stop her in any way. You also recall when the tip of her beak snapped off from her hunting invertebrates in her outdoor enclosure? That is slowly but surely taking shape and coming back as well. And I'm thrilled. I mean, she just looks insane. It's unbelievable. But one of the most important things to bring up here is the fact that Rockalina is an adult female turtle. So this turtle will ovulate, and if all goes well, the eggs will become fertile when she breeds with a male. They will shell over, and she will be able to successfully nest and lay those eggs in the ground. But what can happen is something terrible. You can have either egg binding or something called follicular stasis. And this is when the female continuously each year, because turtles are on an annual reproductive cycle, each year she produces these ova that do not shell over, and they don't get reabsorbed either. That eventually can lead to something called follicular stasis, and it can kill the turtle. Now, Rockalina, like I said, was probably around 20 years old when she was first collected out of the wild in 1977. So that put her right on the cusp of reproductive behavior for her species naturally. So who knows, for 50 years, she could have been producing these follicles or ova, and they could have been building up in her system. Now, we don't believe that to be the case with her. We think we've gotten lucky, but by being with her own kind growing up alongside of her, she starts to behave, or the hope is that she will start to behave more and more like a natural wild box turtle in a wild setting or wild type setting. Then maybe eventually she can actually be introduced to a male, and she can produce viable eggs and offspring like her species is supposed to do. It's for the benefit of their health. And you will actually see in literature that turtles and tortoise females unfortunately succumb to things like egg binding and follicular stasis, something we have gotten to see overseas actually take place, and the detrimental things that can happen to these poor females. So you see, it's not just about a turtle having a friend. Again, these animals are wild at heart no matter what, and they have annual cycles, annual reproductive cycles, and all other things that they are supposed to naturally follow by nature. So each and every day we work a little bit harder, a little bit more towards getting her to have that turtle life. That's really the only way to put it. So the whole point of this is so that we can hopefully end up with a clean as a whistle little colony of box turtles that Rockalina can be safely a part of. We cannot just simply take a questionable adult or turtle from another surrender or rescue or collection and put it with her, because the diseases and the viral infections that those other turtles might carry, and again, turtles can carry things without appearing sick, could mean a sure end to Rockalina's life. And let's face it, she has been through enough already. So what we want to do is build a new enclosure here in our nature room and add all kinds of visual barriers and make it as natural as the one that we have for her outdoors, so that we can start introducing these younger turtles. And by having visual barriers and different naturalistic items in the enclosure, all the turtles in there can stay out of each other's sight when they want to be, and they can start to behave in a colony type dynamic, which again is what these animals do in nature. As the babies get older and the shell starts to turn from that cartilage and keratin to more solid bone, they can spend more and more time with Rockalina because they can withstand more things. If Rockalina were to try to snap at one, because, you know, there is territorial aggression that is normal for the species too. A lot of people don't take that into consideration. If the turtle is older and stronger, it can handle that, and it will be, again, part of that natural, normal dynamic. So we are off to an unbelievable start here. Rockalina was so curious about that baby, did not want to harm it at all, and even shared her cherished strawberry with it. One more thing, guys, and no, Rockalina, this is not going to be part of your colony. The Otis exclusive plushie is available one last time through Makeshift. So if you didn't get it last year, this is your final chance to get it now. Use that link in the description to order it before it's too late, and wish Rockalina luck. We are off to an incredible start.